The first problem states, write the polynomial in standard form. What is the name of the polynomial based on its degree and number of terms? Okay, so first we have to combine like terms. We have an x squared, an x squared, and an x squared. So we can just add our coefficients. So we have a 7x and a negative 10 and a 7. So 7 minus 10 is negative 3, plus 7 is a positive 4. So that's going to be 4x squared. Next, we're going to look for all the x's that we have. Well, we only have one, so then that's going to be plus 6x. Next, we'll look for all our constants. We just have one, so we'll write that down, and that's going to be minus 8. And as I went ahead, it's already in standard form because it's from largest degree to the constant. So we're good to go there. Now we can base it on the degree. So we go to the highest degree coefficient, and that would be your 2. And so this is going to be a quadratic. And that is based on the degrees. And then we're also going to name it based on the number of terms. And so we'll count the terms 1, 2, 3, and so that would be a trinomial. Next, what is the polynomial in simplified form of 2v cubed minus v plus 8 plus the opposite of v cubed plus v squared minus 7v? So first order of business is we're going to combine like terms. We have a plus sign here, so we don't have to change any signs or distribute our negative 1. So we can combine our v's cubes. So I'm going to have a 2 minus 1. And so 2 minus 1 becomes v cubed. We don't have to write the 1 in front of the coefficient. Next, I'm going to look for any of the v squares. We only have 1. So I can just write that as a positive v squared. Next, I'm going to continue and go in order from largest to smallest of my degrees. So next, I'm going to take a look at my v and v. And so I'm going to combine a negative 1 and a negative 7, and that will be a negative 8v. Now I'm going to look for any constants I have, and I only have 1, 8, none on this side, so then I'm just left with plus 8. Notice how I organize that very carefully because I have a cubed, a square, and then I have just a v, and then I have a constant. And so that would be my answer. Next problem states to simplify negative 32x to the fourth b squared plus 28x to the fourth b squared. So we have like terms, x to the fourth and b squared. So that means we can just combine our coefficients. So let's go ahead and do that. Negative 32 plus 28 will be a negative 4. And then you just write down your terms, x to the fourth, b squared. And that is your final answer. Okay, for the next problem, we're going to be distributing the 4v minus 7 and multiplying it by 8v plus 3. So we're going to be multiplying the binomials. You can also think of this as FOIL. So we're going to go ahead and multiply our first times first terms. And so that's going to be 32 v squared. And then we're going to do our outside terms, and that is going to be 4v times 3, so that's going to be plus 12v. Then we're going to do our inside terms, and that is going to be a negative 56v. And then we're going to do our last terms, and that will give us a negative 21. Then once we get to this step, we are going to combine like terms, which will only be our v's right here. So our final answer will be 32v squared minus 44v minus 21. Doing that very carefully. The next problem we're going to be multiplying, and you may realize this is a special case. This is a trinomial square. So what we can do is square our first term. So that's going to be 2a times 2a, which is 4a squared. Then what you're going to do, multiply these two terms together, and that's going to give you 6a. And then if you recall, you're going to double that, times it by 2, so then you're going to get 12a. And so that's going to be your middle term. And then for your last step, you're going to square your last term, and you will get your answer of 4a squared plus 12a plus 9. Now, if you forgot the shortcut for special cases that this is a trinomial square, you could just do FOIL and just write it all out and multiply them out just like the last one.